Greetings. Thank you so much for tuning in and welcome to your New Voices Amplified. My name is Plot Marco and welcome to the program that brings you some of the amazing creatives from Zimbabwe. And today we happen to be speaking to uh, one of the few white people in Zimbabwe who happens to be Comrade Fatso.
One of the few remaining white
One
people
of-
in Zimbabwe.
yes, I don't know whether he's back because he's one of the white farmers that are going to get back their farms. We don't know. We'll find out soon. But anyway,
Fingers crossed. The land is coming.
great, great. I mean, he's a comedian, he's an artist, performing artist, but he's the brains behind Shoko Festival. Comrade Fats, welcome to your ground.
Thanks for having me, Plot.
Great, great. Let's talk about Shoko, the history of Shoko Festival. What is the idea behind the festival? It's more than a decade, the festival running.
Yeah. So Shoko started back in 2011, and we had the idea with Outspoken, co-founder of Magamba Network, and the idea was there was a lot of emerging, powerful urban culture at the time. There was some really great hip hop and spoken word events happening. Poetry slams and so forth that we'd been involved in, but there wasn't actually a festival that celebrated that youth culture, that urban culture, that had that culture that has a rebellious spirit about it. So we decided to set up Shoko Festival back in 2011, initially as a spoken word and hip hop festival, as those were kind of cool new emerging, I think, urban culture trends, and also a very kind of, I think, very expressive for young people living in the crazy and oppressive political and economic situation that is Zim. And it was all about creating a space for that free expression and urban culture. So we kicked off in 2011 back at Alliance Française, and it was a dope first year. Like the first 2 years we ran at Alliance Française, we brought in acts like Tumi and the Volume from South Africa, Akala, who's just amazing conscious rapper from the UK, Nazi also from the UK. We ran for the first 2 years at Alliance, and then as the festival grew, we moved to different venues. And we also started to embrace new emerging forms of urban culture. So after a few years, we added a comedy night because stand-up comedy had also become a really important rebellious form of youth expression in Zim. Of course, we started fusing a lot of dancehall acts into it too, since it's such a big voice for the ghetto youth here. We kind of then changed venues. So we went once to Waterworld and did a Shoko Festival there, then Alex Sports Club, then we were at home in the library, outside the library grounds and the museum grounds for a few years. And now we're fully virtual this year.
Fully virtual, but I mean, if you look back 10 years back, do you have a sense of accomplishment? Are you happy with the progress that Shoko has made so far?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think looking back at it, of course, like any journey, there's learnings, there's ups and downs. I think there's definitely been some tough years that we had. I think there were years where maybe we didn't get the programming right and the marketing right. I think maybe the year we were at Alex Sports Club, which I think was like 2014. I think also 2017 when the year we had MT headlining. I don't think it wasn't. We didn't have great attendance there, and I think at both those two moments, I think we'd gotten a bit complacent in our programming. But our programming actually, fire.
No fire. I know we are it.
So I think I think that there've been downs like that, but I think you also have to to learn from it. And I think overwhelmingly there's been a lot of positive impact. I think with Shoko, we're not looking to be the biggest festival in the country. We're looking to be the dopest festival in the country. and very much a space that promotes, cutting edge new urban culture. If you're a hip hop act, if you're a dancehall act, and you've got a powerful message that that may not necessarily be heard by the mainstream, I think that's the kind of space that we create with Shoko. So I think over the years we've managed to build a platform that's done a lot to support Zim hip hop, especially conscious Zim hip hop. That's been able to build international collaborations and international tours for a lot of Zim hip hop artists. I mean, we gave her first ever festival platform outside of Blayo, connected her with UK hip hop acts like Rodney P. She performed there, and then we also helped her go on tour in Europe. She then got signed in Germany. She's based out there. So I think there's been a lot of growth that we've managed to support. We booked the Monkey Nuts on their first European tour, where they opened for De La Soul in France. We've kind of made sure that the festival is not just a once-off thing, but it can help curate new urban culture, new collaborations that can then lead to our poets, our hip hop artists, our dancehall acts, and our comedians traveling globally.
Wow, great! It's quite interesting that you mentioned there the impact that the festival has made, but in terms of creating employment, how much of an impact has the festival made, or during the festival, how many people are part of this festival who make up, the team?
Yeah, so I think in a normal Shoko year, we create direct employment for a good 250 people per year, and then of course there's a multiplier and spillover benefits to those from those 250 people to their families and so forth. So it definitely is about I think creating employment for the duration of the festival, and very importantly also supporting the creative sector. So it's like this year at Shoko, we've got our biggest artist lineup ever. Funnily enough, because we've gone virtual, instead of doing 3 days, we've done 1 week, which means we've invested a lot in our artists, because we're not having to invest so much in, for instance, our staging or our security or barriers. So I think the festival is very much about investing in the creative sector, but from the artists to the many other actors that form our creative sector, the lighting engineers, the sound engineers, the dudes who provide screens. Yes. So I think it's also very much about supporting the creative ecosystem, and we work every year with partners that we've worked with and built a really good relationship of trust with over the years.
Wow, great. But I looking at Shoko Festival over the years, it has created some of the programs that have sort of unsettled the establishment, the system. Has that come with a lot of backlash? How have you guys endured, from the Mugabe era now to the new dispensation? You still have comedy and a lot of other programming, beat music that still speaks truth to power.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think every year, in Zim you have a different challenge, but I think the political challenge is there because Shoko is very much a festival that celebrates free expression, positive activism, content creation, youth culture. So obviously we ruffle feathers, but it's a festival that is about speaking truth to power, as you said, and one of the biggest elements of that is always our stand-up comedy programming, where over the years we've had top international comedians from like Lois Ogola and Tolas Mo and Morake, as well as fantastic Zimbabwean comedians over the years from Carl Joshua Nube and Doc Fikela and so forth. And we always tell we always like to tell our comedians who are performing, there are no boundaries, there are no limits, comrades. It may not be a free country, but hey, festival. So, so I think, our comedy nights always push they push the boundaries of what is possible. And we have had issues where the police a few years ago wanted to shut down Shoko Festival. We had a real rip-roaring comedy night. Our Zambezi News parody show performed, a few other comedians performed, and then Doc Vikela came on and said, it was under the Mugabe era, and he said, as Zimbabweans, we're not ready for our own currency because we don't have a dead president to put on it yet. And so the police in the crowd were like, assassination. And we were like, no, comrades, it's comedy. So we actually had a whole situation where they wanted to shut down the festival. They were even threatening to arrest Gonyet because she did a really fire set.
Wow.
And that's just 1 year of Shoko. Then the following year, it's not political issues, it's cholera. The next year, which was last year, there was the whole xenophobia thing. So we booked a South African act. You're like, hey, can Celestine truly perform since there's all the whole anti-xenophobia vibe? And then this year, of course, Zimbabwe and the globe has always got some nice surprises. This year, COVID. Comrades, throw whatever at the festival, but it has to continue somehow.
Wow. But tell me about that resilience. Like, it's quite amazing. A lot of festivals, including some major festivals, are not happening over the past few years because of a very bad economy and also just, a difficult situation. But Shoko Festival still manages to ride all of these waves and forges ahead with the festival. What's the driving force? Are you Western funded?
Yeah. That's in a nutshell, we're Western funded regime change agents. That's what keeps us going. But apart from the obvious, I think it's, I think we're crazy enough to believe that, no matter what, the festival needs to go ahead, that there's, that it's such an important space for young Zimbabweans, for inspiration, for creating a space where people can think, talk, and act differently. And so, each year we're like, the festival will happen the last week of September, and and no matter what, we will not move it. So I think we're just a bit crazy like that. And when we've said we're going to do something, we do it.
Wow, great. Let's talk about this year's program. The festival started on Monday, and like you said, it's now running for a week under COVID lockdown. And I've seen the lineup this year is quite fresh, quite vibrant. What informed the choice of artists? And also I see a couple of new additions now. There's Voice to Rap, and there are like 2 comedy shows, and I've observed that in almost every show you've collaborated with different institutions. I see Simuka there, I see Zim Hip Hop Awards, I also see some young leaders, such as Ray Vines, a comedian, is also partnering.
Yeah.
What was the idea behind the whole programming for this year?
Okay, yeah. So I'll start. On the collaborative side, you mentioned. I think what's really important with Shoko, if it is the festival of urban culture every year, that is about not just. I think there are many events and festivals or gigs that just want to put the big names up there, and of course there's a space for that, and people also, there's sometimes you just want to go and see big names perform and so forth. I think Shoko's not and has never been about that. I think in order to build Zim hip hop, to build Zim dancehall, to build stand-up comedy, to build spoken word, we need a support always that new upcoming talent, the rising stars, the ones who no one has ever heard of, and for them to be able to share the stage with those big local and international acts. And that's always been our policy. That's always been the way that we've tried to kind of uplift local talent, is by programming shit that other people don't program. And so I think if most promoters are going left, I will go right. And I think in order to build urban culture in the creative sector in Zim, especially I think a lot of urban culture that's not necessarily mainstream, that's not super mainstream, like spoken word or conscious hip hop, but urban culture like that's got such an important place in speaking to people about their struggles, their desires, their dreams. I think we have to do it collaboratively, and there are many great young creative organizations and startups that are doing great work, and so I think it's very much about building collaborations and partnerships. So for the Battle of the Cities Poetry Slam, we partnered with Poetry Alive. For the, as you're saying, Top Comedian, we partnered with Simuka. For Venga 2.0, we got Monkey Nuts to curate it. Peace in the Hood, working with also with Accountability Lab and Voice to Rep team for the new Voice to Rep competition. For the Bang Bang Comedy Game Show, we worked with King Kandoro and Maduro Fair Republic to curate the game show. So I think it's very much about using our collective creative talents, our collective wisdom, to make it a platform that we all own and that benefits the many different young creatives and young artists involved. And so, of course, we have to give space and platforms to those young dudes who are killing it. The Ray Vines, the Cody Rank Marshalls. The Cody Rank Marshalls right now, they're taking my job. So
you have to balance the rest.
Others just retire, comrade.
Wow, great. Let's talk about the remaining part of the festival. Today is Friday, and you've got Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. We close off the festival. For somebody who's just catching up late, what's in store? What's planned now?
So I think we've kicked off the festival nice and laid the groundwork for it. But our biggest events are Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So Thursday night, probably the biggest event of the festival is Peace in the Hood, which is being headlined by Ja Master, as well as Pop Tay, who's doing a collaboration with Black Pearl and Madzitate Guru. We also got our Peels and Holy 10 on the lineup. We've got the Voice to Rep competition happening there. That's being streamed from Blawayo, while the main Peace in the Hood event happens in Harare. The winner of the Voice to Rep competition for socially conscious urban artists, the winner of the competition gets $1,500 US and a music video produced. So that's all happening tonight on Thursday, and it's hosted by Dadza D and Cody Rank Marshall. A collaboration between my elders and my youth. We look forward to hearing people's feedback about the venue that it's being shot in, because it's not shot in a studio.
Well, it's quite interesting because I've observed the last few shows, and I see how the setup is like and how bright it is. And then I was trying to really understand the theme, the Phoenix edition. How would you explain the theme and then the choice of some of the locations from what we've seen so far?
So I think the theme Phoenix edition is very much, I think we've been through a crazy year as Zimbabweans. We've been locked down under COVID. We've also been locked down under an authoritarian regime. It's been locking up journalists and activists. We've had the hashtag Zimbabwean Lives Matter trending to try and draw attention to the struggles we're going through. And we have an economy that seems to be always in free fall. And so we just thought, as we kind of emerge from lockdown, as Zimbabweans, we're in these, we're in these ashes, in these ruins, but we do need to rise, and we do need to move forward. And so very much this year's Phoenix edition is about using arts, creativity, humor, to inspire Zimbabweans, to rise and move forward from this, the crazy situation that we're in. So that's the theme. In terms of the venues and the curation, I think we've had a lot of fun doing that this year, because we're like, look, if we're doing a virtual festival, let's not try and compress the live experience into digital, because nothing beats a live gig. Like, I mean, and I know there are a lot of live gigs going on under lockdown, and I feel like people have seen so many of them, and we're just trying to bring something different, and use the benefits that we have of digital. If we're going digital, let's use the benefits we have of digital, where you can curate a really dope event, have multiple cameras, cut it all together, play around with visual effects, play around with venues that people aren't used to. Don't just shoot everything in a studio. What venues have people not seen? What spaces can you reimagine? And what formats can you reimagine? So that's why, the Battle of the Cities Poetry Slam went for a very industrial feel for that. Simuka Top Comedian, we shot in theater. The Monkey Nuts Present Venge Venge 2.0.
I liked Motom Jinji. It was really, and those guys, I don't know where you got those guys from. Shoe Shine.
Shoe Shine. Yeah. So that was like, that was like, let's do some crazy experimental shit, left field. Let's see what Venge Venge would look like if we shot it in 2037. And so and I'm not going to give away too much about the Peace venue and the Mashup Nights venue, but just to say we shot them in completely different, very unique settings. And then the Bang Bang Comedy Game Show, we set it up like a proper game show with big screens, and so I think it's looking dope. And I think after Peace in the Hood, we've got Bang Bang Comedy Game Show, headlined by Ray Vines and Doc Vikela. So that'll be our big comedy night on Friday, 25th of September, and that'll be a real rip-roaring game show where comedians are just going after all these topics, no taboos, and it's hosted by Maggie from Bus Stop TV. So stay tuned for that. And then Saturday night, we're closing it off with Mashups Night, which is going to be headlined by, as you know, the BET award-winning Shasha, our South African-based comrade, and also the lineup, we got Tigons launching his brand new album. We've got Pungwe Sessions doing their first ever live act. Because Mashups Night is all about new collabs, new presentations, and also very importantly on the lineup, we also curated a brand new collaboration between Anita Jackson, Sibo, and Natasha Muz, which is called Woman Fight. And it's a proper dope dancehall hip hop thing.
Wow! And talking about women, before we close the interview, I think Shoko has done tremendously well in terms of creating that space and making sure that there is equal space for women. I was watching one discussion, Veneko and Log Nation, quite profound. Gender and also the conversations that you had. You had a couple of conversations. You had the mayor's conversation, and then you also had one that I was watching today with Namatai and Glenn and a few others. Let's talk about gender, and let's talk about the conversations that you had at Shoko this year.
Yeah, so exactly. Thanks, Claude. Yeah, it's always a really important part of our program. It's not just the nighttime, mafaro, but also our day programming, where we have the Haban conference that runs, which is Zim's biggest annual digital media and journalism conference. So it's really a gathering of creatives, content creators, activists, creative entrepreneurs, and so forth. And so this year it was running under the theme Digital Media Week, and each day was a different event. So we had a mayors forum where we got together mayors from different cities to have a really deep conversation about the state of local councils, and did that all virtually and on Zoom. We've had the Women Create World Summit curated by Lock Nation, which is all about women creatives and women creative entrepreneurs and women in the media who are going about changing society, changing the narrative. Today we had the hashtag Zimbabwean Lives Matter session where we got an exclusive interview with Lindiwe Zulu from ANC, as well as discussions with Namatai Kweza and others about the way forward for the struggle for democracy in Zim. And we're going to be closing it off tomorrow with the first ever Africa Satire Convention happening at the Hub, where we've got international speakers as well as some of our top local satirical crews. The day program has been fantastic. It's been running also physically but mainly online on the Shoko Festival Facebook page.
Well, it's been great. It's been awesome speaking to you. I really appreciate the time. I know the schedule is busy, but are we going to see you on stage at any time? Zambezi News, or you performing as Comrade Fatso in Chabondoka? Or does Chabondoka still exist?
It exists in my mind. It exists on the internet. I mean, never say never. Chabondoka might come back. I mean, those guys are all doing amazing things. Tendai Manata, Josh Mek, Freedom. This year, because of all the crazy programming and stuff, I won't be on stage per se. I'm giving an opening talk at the Africa Satire Convention tomorrow. But I was involved so much in the behind the scenes kind of curation and kind of programming side of things that next year I'll be there, comrade. We had to give space to the to the Cody rank marshals and Ray Vines who are there to take our jobs, so we're just seeing what retirement looks like.
That's good. That's good. Well, thank you so much, Comrade Fatso. I really appreciate that we managed to have an insight into so many things that are happening at Shoko and that have happened at Shoko before. And we look forward to 2021, the festival, and also 2023, the festival.
2023, I did Chipo Mdara.
Wow, great. No by-elections in between, so thanks a lot.
Cool, Plot. Thanks for having me, and all viewers out there, thanks for tuning in. Make sure, if you want to watch Shoko Festival, tune into the Shoko Festival Facebook page. Happening every evening. All the gigs are live and they are free.
The first time, free, everything free. Dope. Just your data and then in.
Just your data, yes.
Wow, great. Wow, thank you so much to everybody who's been watching. My name is Plot Marco, and I've been speaking there to Comrade Fatso, the festival director for Shoko Festival, which is running. Started on the 21st and ends on the 27th. Exciting lineup. You should check it out. Even if you miss some of the programs, you can still go back there. They're online. You can check them out on their Facebook page and on their Twitter and Instagram. You can also check some of the updates on what's happening there. Exciting lineup. My name is Plot Marco. Until next time, New Voice Amplified. I'm out.